let's say the thing didn't really last between us. They walked out. You know when they walk out and they don't even look at you either?
How embarrassing.
You know how bad
That's when you know you did bad.
They can't look you in the face.
The best is when they come up to you and shake your hand and tell you it's going to be all right. Oh, my God. You get like 4 of those in your career.
Yeah.
And that's the week you get evicted. Your girlfriend leaves you for a Puerto Rican dude that plays the drums in a salsa band.
Yeah, uncut.
And then that's when that one fan comes up to you and says, "You'll do better next time," and shake your hand.
It's horrible.
Oh my God!
I remember my first wife and I, we went to Aruba for a week. I took her to Aruba. The day we get back, she goes, "I want a divorce." I go, "Well, you couldn't have told me that a week earlier." You know what I mean? We went to
wasted
Aruba.
$800 that I could have used for the attorney.
You crazy? So now I'm depressed. I'm in New York. You know, we're talking on the phone, and next thing you know, I walk out of the comedy show and I see my car on the tow truck, and I'm going, "Can it get any worse?"
Yes.
And I had no money back then. I had no money. You know, now I keep money in case of emergency everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Just like anxiety medicine, I got it stashed. But I had no money, and I had to go into the summer and find a comic with money and get my. It just when shit is falling apart,
Oh my God.
it falls
It
apart.
falls apart. It
Falls
really
the
falls
fuck apart.
And when you're doing comedy, I think there's a point in your comedy career where things really do fall apart, and it's a test to see if you'll quit. It's a test from life.
Yeah.
I was at the point where, you know, we all have those stories and nights where we put our hands in our heads and said, "What?" I mean, you and I are from the same background. You and I are from the streets. You're from a savagery area, Linden or wherever the hell.
Plainfield.
Plainfield.
Yeah.
Camden, same difference. Pennsauken, Neptune.
Yeah.
You know, that's a different mentality. And when I got into comedy, Rich, I don't know if it was the same for you. This was it.
I had
This was
nothing
it.
else. What
How
am I
old
gonna
were
do?
you when you got into comedy?
I think I was like 28.
And what were you doing before that?
Anything. Scamming. You know, I've done sale. I was bound. I mean, for years, I used to have a painting business, but I fucked that up doing, blow and stuff. I'm partying. And then I did whatever, any type of sales, canvas sales out of my car, sold cars, whatever,
Just to maintain the habit and
just
rent.
scam. It was always a scam.
Always.
And I talk about this. One of my best scams was I would go to garage sales and I'd find an old set of golf clubs. They have them for like $5. They're just beat up old golf clubs, $5 for the set. So I would buy them. Then I would go to the dealer and go, "Yo, man, give me $1,000 on credit, and I'll leave my clubs as collateral. Don't sell my clubs." Let me tell you how many drug dealers in my town have old garage sale golf clubs.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it was a real good scam. So I did whatever I could to get over, and whatever it was. But then when I started comedy, like I knew, because I grew up loving comedy. Pryor, Murphy. I listened to old stuff. Steve Landisberg, Bob Newhart, you name it. I just loved comedy. Then I went to a couple clubs with this dude. He was my dealer, and we went to some clubs.
What were the clubs you went to?
I went to one in New Jersey called Penny Arcade.
Okay.
And I saw who just passed away, Mike Reynolds. I go, "This is the funniest man alive." I think it was him and Mitchell Walters. I'm going, "This is the funniest I've ever seen." I go, "This is great." Then we went to Catch a Rising Star a couple times, and I saw, all these New York comics and Hiram Cass, and I'm going, this guy's great, and just the comics that were going on 30 years ago, 29 years ago in New York. I go, this, and then I started doing, I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning, but I know I got to do this, and then maybe a year of whatever, I started booking one-nighters in my town so I could host. And then other guys like me that were booking one-nighters in like Connecticut, Long Island, I would go, "You could work my gig if I could work yours." Then we would trade.
You have something to work
We would trade. You know, and I brought in I had guys at my one nighter, you know, like back then, Dennis Wolfberg, Joe Bolster, Mulrooney. I had Richard Jenny opening for Mulrooney, you know, and Richard Jenny, you know, Mulrooney, I go, just bring whoever you want. So we, you know, they get to the gig, and Jenny's like, he's got this attitude, right? And he goes, I don't know if you know who I am, but I'm Richard Jenny. I work Casual Rising Star. I go, well, you're working here for $60 tonight, right? But and one of the best comics throughout the 80s and 90s, hands down. And he had an attitude from day one because he knew he was that good. You know what I mean? And I always got along with these guys.
I got along with Richard Jenny
so did
really
I.
well.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. He really taught me a lot. I worked a few weeks with him, and just from watching him, I was like, whoa.
Did you ever see Dennis Wolfberg work?
No.
Man, this guy, clean powerhouse. He was just killed. Same with all those guys back then. John Mulrooney. There was tons of them that used to just slaughter on stage.
I heard John Mulrooney was a killer.
Oh, yeah, killer. Crowd work, the best crowd work. And, you know, real good-looking girls loved him. He just go up there and slay. And there was in the 80s, there was so much work. So many, you know, in Jersey, New York.
What year did you get into this racket?
Let's see, 30, I guess I've been doing it 35 years. Because I got 33 years clean, and I was getting high for at least 2 years in the business.
So you're 35 years clean?
No, 33 years
33 years clean.
But I was getting high when I started. First couple of years.
Okay.
At least 2. So I've been doing it for like 35 years. But the first 2 years was in a blackout. But, you know, so 35. If you think about it, if I had a goddamn job at a post office, I could have retired and had a pension by now. I could be living work-free. But as a comic, you don't quit. You quit when you're dead. You can't quit this. How could you quit? What else am I going to do? You know, Bonnie's like, let's move to L.A. and I'll get a writing job. I go, fuck that. I'm not. I work in, you know, I'm in New York. That's my base. I could work in the city and, you know, and I go on the road from New York.
You still go on the road every week, I heard.
A lot, yeah. Pretty much. You know, you know, I got to keep coming up with new material. You know, I'm putting out my 6th album. It's ready now, but I might not release it till around Christmas. But I'll put it on Sirius now. But I got to keep writing and creating to stay as relevant as I can. You know comics that get caught up in shit they were doing 10 years ago.
We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.